Thank you. My name's Momodou Hidara, the General Manager of Ja Oil Company as Ja Group of Industries. Thank you very much. Where we are right now is in Farafenye, Bereto to be precise. The work going on here, as you can see, there is a lot of machinery working. What we have here is our new Farafenye factory. We are erecting, as you know, a new factory here in Farafenye. It's like we're importing what is in Baflodo, the same capacity here in rural Farafenye, so that it can take care of the rural environment, because we are now trying to also encourage rural industrialization in the Gambia. And this is the first thing what we want to do, so that this area now, before people paying the heavy transport and high cost of transport going all the way to the combos just to get a bag of cement, now you can get it here in Farafenye to serve both the NBR, LRR, CRR, up to URR. And as you know, Farafenye is in the middle of the Gambia, 200 kilometers away from Banjul, and the same also around Basse. So that's what you are seeing right now here. Recently, we have realized that the Gambia is changing in dynamics. What we have also discovered is that there is a huge development drive going on in the country. People are mostly focused on the urban Gambia, that is the Combos, the greater Banjul area. But there is also a lot happening in rural Gambia. And if you come to see what is happening in rural Gambia, there is also massive development happening. And this is why the pressure in our factory in Baflodo is very high. Most of those trucks are also going to the provinces. And the complaint has always been the high cost of transport. Now, when we sat on the drawing board trying to look at what do we need to do better, rather than focusing all attention like everybody else on the greater Banjul area, why not we diversify a little bit, go to the rural Gambia, where we can also create a similar thing, whereby the rural folks can also benefit, not only having accessible to cheaper cement and also getting their developments on time, but also employment-wise also, youths could be employed here in rural Gambia. Rather than migrating this rural-urban migration, it will curtail it a little bit. So that's the drive, and that is what we are doing here. And as you can see, the work is well advanced, and hopefully we will be able to commission it anytime after October, inshallah. The new factory, like you see, we are not just building any factory because it's a rural Gambia, no. We're importing what is exactly in Baflodo, the same capacity, the same quantity. That's what we are importing directly into Farafenye. Baflodo today, with our existing capacity, is 100,000 bags a day. That's what we are able to do. And that is exactly what we are bringing here in Farafenye, 100,000 bags a day. So we believe that this will be very impactful in rural Gambia, because at least if you can push out 100,000 bags every single day out of this factory for the rural folks, we believe that if it has worked for Combo, it should work for rural Gambia. We 100% believe in this. And in rural Gambia, in urban Gambia today, for example, Baflodo, we have also upgraded. You will go there and do the shooting. A brand new factory is in the offing. Hopefully by the end of October, we should commission it. And that is 200,000 bags a day. Twice this quantity. That's what we're doing in Baflodo. In urban Gambia, in our factory in Baflodo, we have always said one thing, and we have always re-echo it. The capacity there today is 100,000 bags a day. We believe this is well capacitated. We are not under capacity, even though there is these hiccups happening. And I'll give you a little background on what is causing those hiccups. Everybody knows we are in the middle of the rainy season right now, which is hindering operations, simply because cement is a very delicate product. It doesn't mix with water. It doesn't come into contact with water. So what people are feeling in the rainy season today is because we have brought vessels. Right now, as we speak, about 2 vessels in the waters of the Gambia, a combined capacity of over 100,000 metric tons. But the difficulties we are having is offloading those vessels, because the weather has been very, very bad. It has been very wet weather. And the ship radars also are equipped with weather forecasts. So what will happen is the moment they sense that there is an imminent of rain, they don't even have to wait for the rain to fall. They will just look at it. If there is imminence, then they will cease operation, close all the hatches, secure them, and wait until that is all clear. Then they start operations again. So for August and September, the difficulties we've been having is rain is high on a daily basis, and also the whole day sometimes. So this has hindered operation, and this is very normal. Any country you go, anywhere you go, when it comes to discharging of cement, for it to be processed, you have to do it with a condition that is dry. You cannot do it under the rain. Even the vessel owners will not even allow you to do it because their insurance is on the line. The moment that cement touches water, it's their responsibility. So this is why they don't even gamble it. So that's what people have been saying recently, that, well, there are these hiccups and cuts. And these hiccups and cuts is nothing. The only culprit to that is the rain. And people can verify this. You go to the ports today and make inquiries about how many vessels of cement are stationed in the Gambia today, loaded. They will tell you we have 2 with a combined capacity of over 100,000 metric tons. So that shows you that we don't have a capacity issue, we don't have a supply issue. All we have is Mother weather. Mother nature is not allowing us to do operation as it is. But, you know, we are in September. Hopefully, towards the end of September, the rain will recede a little bit. Like today is very sunny. So you will see that, you know, tanks will be rolling in and out of the factory, and then within no time it will be shutted out. But having said that also, the reason why we decided to innovate, to de-enfranchise a little bit in a way whereby we have urban Gambia operating on its own with a higher capacity of 200,000 bags a day, and you have rural Gambia separated now having 100,000 bags a day, it means Jar Oil has a combined capacity of 300,000 bags a day that could be produced in this country. That is way above the Gambian capacity, my brother. And anybody can do researches and look at it. And we are not only giving the best quality cement, but we are also giving the most affordable cement in the sub-region. When you look at the quality we sell in the country, it's 42.5 R. And one thing people have to understand is when there is a commodity in high demand, what happens? People have to wait behind each other. When you go to even some of our local shops that sell certain kind of special products, either it's food or something, sometimes you find a queue there. You wait in line for 5, 10, 15 minutes, of course, to get so that you can be served. You go to some restaurants, it's the same thing. You go to some other, it's just common. When a product is in high demand, people have to wait. But that doesn't mean that that product, there is a shortage of it. There is high demand for it, but there is no shortage. That's the thing. In fact, the reason why we are trying to have an impact on the price. This has been our aim all the time. If you look at it in these last 2-3 years, Jar Oil has invested a lot. And all this investment is towards price controlling. In a way, I don't know, in the context I'm putting it, trying to control the high cost. And this is why we've made these massive investments. One of those massive investments, which many cement producers or sellers will not do, is that we also invested in a vessel that we own. It's called NV Christian. We bought this vessel so that we can be bringing larger capacity vessels that could bring 53 or 55,000 metric tons. And this small vessel that we bought with our money, costing some millions of dollars, is to lighten that big ship until it could be sustainable to cross the Gambian Channel and to berth at the Gambia Ports Authority. Without that investment, we will not be able to play with the economics of scales. Economy of scales means you import in massive quantity, and then the prices, will go lower because of you are playing with the volume. We couldn't do the current price we are doing currently in the Gambia if at all we didn't invest in that vessel to get price cheaper. It would have been higher than what it has been sold today. Thanks to certain government policies and efforts that has been put in place that made us to invest that further, to do that further investment. Without any sort of such policies, we will not even think about putting that extra money into this business to cut the prices down so that Gambians can get it cheaper. We'll be thinking about how do we survive. When a business starts talking about or thinking about its own survival, it's about survival of the fittest. It means it's between the customer, the consumers, and the business owner. They are, they have to fist on each other. So, and of course, as a business owner, you call the shots. I want it today for $500. You will sell it for $500. And what will happen is the consumer will just be complaining, and then very, very dissatisfied, but you are making your money because you are fighting for survival. We have passed that stage. We've known that there is stability now. So now what do we do is now, how do we diversify by further investing? So this is why we invested in a new vessel that could enable us to play with the economic of scales, to be able to bring very massive vessels. In the Gambian history, it's only Jar Oil who has ever landed those kind of vessels in this country from time immemorial, because they are not meant for this area, because they couldn't even cross our waters, because they need a very deep draft of about 15 meters. Our channel is just 9.5 meters. So that means you have to invest further to buy another vessel, a smaller one, to lighten that big vessel so that it can cross that channel. That's a massive investment. And that is one part of it. Then we invested again in a shore crane. What is a shore crane is, you need something to offload that small vessel, the equipment to load that small vessel. And that is a shore crane. These are massive investment. You will see it in the port. It's the only shore crane in the Gambia, and it is owned by a private person. That is Jar Oil Company. And then it is not only, we are not only also cornering it for ourselves. Recently, I think the Gambia National Army had a vessel that docked at the Ports Authority. And the Port Authority couldn't, it couldn't discharge the cargo because they don't have a shore crane at their disposal. So the Army has to approach us, to help them. So we were able to discharge that cargo for them using our own shore crane. So it's a blessing, and I think, and we didn't charge them anything. It's for free because it's a government entity, and of course the Army is here for our own security and defense. So that's our contribution to them. But if at all we were to charge them for that particular cargo, it is going to cost them thousands of dollars. So, but we said no. Even though we bought it for our services, they can also use it. So this shows you what I'm trying to depict here is we are also investing massively into the sector and in the country. And all these sectors I've mentioned, for example, the vessel that we've bought, it is bringing extra revenue for the country because anytime they make certain movement in the port, we pay certain dues to them. And then Gambians also are working in it. And also the shore crane also, our own people are also working in it. And we are also trying to even invest further with buying another second vessel just to make this operation flawless and very fluid because we believe that we need a second one. You cannot just depend on the first one. We need second, even third one. And we will not relent, we will not stop until we achieve that. Right now we have our officials out in the world searching to see which is the best type of vessel we could buy for the Gambia under Jar Oil that could do these operations. And thank God, the reason why we are thinking about invest, because stability is there now. And then more Gambians have been employed. Like, for example, let me give you an example. In 2023, before government came with this measure, I call it a measure, whereby cement, certain levies were put on it so that, they can protect the local cement producers. Three of us, that is Tiger Cement, Gasem, and Salam Cement. It was the country's industries were in total disarray. They were in chaos. At some point, we have to close. And our employment rate, when we were just trying to think about how to survive, stability was out of the question. Our employees at the time were about 250, 300, because we couldn't maximize it. But after the measure, up till today, I can tell you the employment has gone about fourfold. And all these times four, these are all Gambians. Most of it, 99.1%, most of them are Gambians. We're able to do this thanks to the measure because we have created a lot of jobs for our own youths. We've also created a lot of revenue for the government, that is for the Gambia, so that they can also do certain development activities. And then to be able to build roads, build schools, build hospitals, and other stuff. And thanks to our revenue outflow. Before the measure, what we used to pay is now with what we pay right now is about threefold. For example, today I can tell you freely, we are pumping into the Gambia Revenue Authority on a monthly basis, nothing less than $90 million a month. $90 million is among one company. Salam didn't come yet. Gasem didn't come yet. When you bundle these things together, we are in the hundreds of millions. Before, it was just a trickle, because these factories were just struggling to survive. And also the employment was also very, very minimal, because Gambians were afraid to employ more people. A lot of Gambian youths were out in the street been very disgruntled. Crime rate was getting very high, even though now I can say crime rate is a different thing. But now I can say when you look at Jawel alone, we have more than double our employment since the measure up till now. So what I'm trying to put out there is this. When you talk about supporting a national industrialization drive, people just hear the words, but they don't think deeper to think about what does it mean and what does it bring for Gambia. And what it brings to Gambia is a lot of things. Number one, it brings a lot of employment into the country with youths. When you look around here, you know, there's a lot of people working in different areas. And when the plant open proper also, you will see far more than people also working. That's number one. Also, the Gambia Ports Authority is an institution. We pump a lot of revenue there. Every vessel we dock into that port is about $15 million per vessel. Sometimes you bring 2, sometimes you bring 3. So do the math for yourself. That's only one sector. You talk about NAWEC. NAWEC, we are talking about between 2.5 to 3 million. You understand? Monthly. You understand? That's one thing. And then you go to the salaries and emoluments that goes to Gambians and other professionals. So it's huge. And the Gambia was losing all these streams I've just talked about. Because of all these monies I've just summarized to you, somebody was benefiting from it out of the borders of the Gambia. And that is what makes me sad when I talked about, when we come to think about what the Gambia was losing versus what they are gaining now. Jawel alone is pumping 90 million. In those days, we have seen a total revenue stream on cement, not in more than 23 million. For a whole year, not in more than 23 million. So what was happening? So this is something people need to understand. Yes, the system is not 100% perfect yet, but we are trying to perfect it by investing further. And we believe by October, inshallah, when we commission the new plan in Bafloto, and hopefully shortly after that or even around the same time, this other one also will be commissioned, because that's our target. That's why we work 24/7 here. Even on Sunday, today is Sunday. Yes. So we don't have a Sunday, we don't have a Saturday, because we are trying to fast track things so that all these things can kick up by October ending, you know, early November, and all of them will be rolling out. And if all these two start rolling out, everything you hear about cement this, cement that, price this, price that, is going to be thing of the past. It's going to be history. So let us also have these, let people also believe this. In every country you see today, they've gone through trying times. They've gone through challenges in every sector before they were stabilized. I'll give you one example. You see, our neighbors had Sokosim as the oldest cement factory in that country, and it was the only factory in that country. In those days, as a Gambian, when you take your truck there to go and get just one load of truck, it takes you 2 to 3 months. You are queuing just to get one load of truck. But they've beared it. They knew their trajectory is to stabilize that industry and to expand it. So the Senegalese and everybody else supported it. And they also went through those trying moments until now people pointed them as having one of the most vibrant cement industries in the sub-region. Thanks to the sacrifices their citizens have made. You don't go to heaven without dying. People need to believe this as a Muslim. We all want to go to heaven, but you have to die first. And dying is difficult. So let's take this as a scenario of what I'm trying to just depict out there. So what is important is, at the end of the day, what does Gambia gain? Gambia will gain massively in revenue stream, employment, and lot. And also it will also try to think, have that comfort of independence, economic independence, standing by yourself, depending on your own local produce. And every country should be proud of its local brands. Local branding is one of the best. And this Gambia is has just put its first step on the road. We have a lot of steps ahead. And other factories are also watching. Other investors are also watching. What they see today is what is going to either encourage them to come in, or what is going to also drive them away. So we believe what they are seeing today is positive, and is going to bring them in. So let us support each other as Gambians. This country belongs to nobody, it belongs to us. If you don't build it, nobody's going to come from outside to build it. You understand? You go to some of these countries, people think Gambia is the only country that is so protective or whatever. There is no protection here, my brother. It's about protecting your interest as a nation. This is not only happening in the Gambia. Our neighbors are doing it far more than us. We all know. Everybody travels here. Nigeria is doing it. Ghana is doing it. Togo is doing it. Benin is doing it. In some of these countries I've just named, I don't want to be specific for obvious reason is they don't even allow a product that they are producing in their country to even transit. Just even to transit their countries. They don't want it. They will block you and they will put levies and taxes on you so that you will never try it again after the first try. So this is nothing new. This is what we have found ourselves in. Let us not blame anybody for it. It is the system, the new system of economic hustling, everybody trying to climb the tallest tree. That's what we are in. That's the generation we are in. And everybody's rushing. And during this rush is the crab mentality. This one is going, before me, I just pull him down, a crab in a bucket. You cling onto each other and pull and pull and pull and pull and pull. So it's a total chaos. But at the end of the day, what we have to achieve as a nation is economic independence. And at the same time, people will be encouraged to invest into other industries, hopefully, so that they can also benefit from the same thing and employ Gambians of the street. This is the most important for me. Employ the youths of the streets. We cannot do this without these kind of programs, honestly. So I don't see the need. Why will you be crying for another country and then leave your country under the bust? You don't do that. Because if we close these factories, or you just open every door and window and then there is dumping of all kind of goods into this country, what happens? The local industries here suffers. And when they suffer, they cannot hold on any longer. They close. And when they close, what happens? It's a disaster. They kick all those people out of work. Government lose the revenue stream. And those very companies that are close by, not into this border, that are benefiting from that, they employ more people because now the demand is higher. Because they have closed some of those factories. They need to produce more. So they employ more people, they make more money, they stream more revenue to their countries. And where do we stand? We are at the losing end. So let every patriotic Gambian start thinking like this. Has nothing to do with politics or this favoring that. If it is only survival, Jawel could say that I don't need all these things anymore. I can have my fish money, I can have my comfort, my family, and everything is set. But no, we are doing this for the future generation. Because when you build a structure like this, you leave it behind. You die, you leave it here. Your progenies come and take it over. They die and leave it behind. So this is what industrialization does versus trading. Trading is you as an individual. You have your money in your bank. You go and bring a container, you sell it, put the money back into the bank. May God forbid if any day you die, they close that account, close that shop. Next is they have to split that, we are Muslim. And then that business automatically, if you are not lucky, is locked down. So let's start looking beyond that point. Gambia should start thinking bigger. I don't know whether I've gone too much, but I think this is the thing.